I simply want to give you some top tips on how to build relationships with people within your team. This is for people who are a leader with a few guys on the team or a crew leader, how really to put in that extra 5% to actually get the maximum value of managing and coaching a team. For me, people become the product of their environment, so it's important that you spend as much time within and outside of work as possible. For me, I'm always looking to invest my time and my effort into people because I'm fully aware of the long-term benefits that I'll get for it. So as a crew leader on stage 4, stage 5, or even now as a company owner, I spend a lot of time with my people. I spend a lot of time with people within my office who's looking to develop, because firstly I understand though they may be on stage 1 or stage 2, this is the person who's eventually going to become my business partner. So not only do I want to spend a lot of time with them professionally, but I do want to spend a lot of time with them outside of work. I want to find out what makes them tick. I want to find out what motivates them. And the only real way I can do that is by spending enough time with them. And for me, when I was a crew leader, I thought about my business a lot. We've got a lot of things that we can do in terms of spending time with people in the field, in the meeting room, sitting down with the owner, but I arranged a lot of extra activities that really allowed me to build relationships with my guys. For me, things like crew nights, crew weekends, spending time with people is vitally important because it allows me to build that relationship to move forward, to keep pushing. So I have a few tips for you on what you can do as a crew leader to really move to the next stage. My first tip is make sure that you've got crew identity. For me, when I was a crew leader, my crew was the new ginger generation for obvious reasons. And I branded my crew. We constantly talked about the new ginger generation. We had our own crew chant, which was the future's bright, the future's ginger. We used to do a crew night every Wednesday, which was when we went to the pub, there was an Orange Wednesday. So if you rang the bell, you buy yourself a drink, but I would also buy one as well, just like the Orange Wednesday offers at the cinemas. We did a lot of, we all had our own notepads that were orange. We all stood together within morning meetings. But I also had other activities, which was breakfast meetings and so on and so forth. For me, the activities are so important. I wanted to spend time and invest in these people. Not just because I was made to, because I really wanted to get to know them. These are people who I'm going to spend months and months and months and months, maybe years working with them. And I had to think outside the box. For me, it wasn't always just about going to the pub, having a few drinks. For me, it was one week we would go to the pub, have some drinks. Maybe the next week we'd have breakfast meetings. The following week we'd go bowling. The next week we'd maybe go out for lunch or dinner. The next week we would watch DVDs at my flat, or we'd play in computer games. We'd have a pool night. What I was trying to do with my crew is make sure I could think of as many different types of activities to get people involved. Where people make the mistake is the very one-dimensional and go, Wednesday's crew night, so we go to the pub. It's what I want to be able to do is I want to attract every sort of person into my crew, whether the people who drink or they don't drink, whether they've got kids. So I have to be adaptable. I have to spend time. So those who couldn't go to the pub or didn't choose to go to the pub, we had breakfasts in the morning. Some people who would have family and want to spend time with their girlfriends, they could maybe come along to a bowling activity. But the reason why I was doing it is because I realized that if I invest my time now, I would see a long-term benefit. And for me, it wasn't so much of a chore, it's something that I wanted to do because I was excited about me building my business. And one of the ways I could do it is by retaining people, by spending time with them, finding out about them. but most importantly so they could find out what I was like outside of work as well. The one key thing with doing all these things though is understanding that you've got to continue your professionalism. When I went to a pub or when I went bowling, for me, I was still at work. For me, I was still making sure that I was on show at all times. For when I wanted to go for a drink and relax, or when I just wanted to socialise and not be unprofessional, but do my own thing, I did that with my friends. I did that with people away from the business. So if ever I had people coming from around my house for dinner or for a barbecue or going to the local pub, for me it was still work. I wasn't in work mode as in I'm running sales impacts, but what I was doing was I was making sure that I was being professional still. I was making sure that the conversations I was having was right. And one of the reasons why I continue to do this is it helps to retain people. If you know them, if you know their personality, if you know their friends, their family, their social environments, what they like, it's a lot easier to relate with that person. Though some people in my crew, I didn't have loads of, I suppose, things in common, my goal was to make sure that I got them involved. I found out what them like. I know I've even been to a cricket game with someone on my team. I've even watched fishing programs, which I've got absolutely no interest, but I had someone on my crew who's crazy about fishing. And I've learned about different religions, different cultures, all by hanging out with people on my team. And for me, it's not so much of a chore, but of something that I want to do. The reason being, when I was in my promoting owner's office, when they were taking me through the development program, sometimes when I was having a difficult time or I wasn't as motivated as I could be, my owner invested time into me. They spent time with me and they looked after me. And I took that ethics and then actually put it into my crew as well. And for me as a crew leader, I want to invest that time now. I want to make sure that I'm developing the next person. And the reason being, what will then happen within my crew is because that's what they've seen from me. When they stop building a crew, they're doing exactly the same. So please think about the extra 5% you can do as a crew leader. It is important that you know your scores. It is important that you are training, you are recruiting, you are teaching and training. But think outside the box. Are you also spending time with them? Are you creating a vision of what you are? When I was building a team, I was asking people to follow me. So to follow me, they've got to know me. And the only way they really get to know me is by spending time with them. And for me, the investment has a huge return. And from me going 3 years ago of just being me in the business learning it, I've now got myself in a situation where I've promoted 3 people, where I've got myself in a situation where I've got 40 people in my office. And what's great about the business, the development program is designed that any individual can go through, whether they have experience, whether they're young, whether they're old, whether they've managed before. The business is designed that any single person who's willing to work hard and put in the effort can develop and get promoted. And I want to be able to retain every single type of person. Though I like going to the pub and I like football, I also understand that I've got to retain other people within my team, so I've got to think outside the box. And the main thing to understand is when you're building a team, people like to feel part of stuff. Do you have your own crew chants, like the future's bright, the future's ginger? Do you have your own crew activities? Do you have an identity? And are you encouraging people to get involved in it? Everyone likes to be involved in something. And the main thing is people like to be involved in something which is moving forward, which is exciting. So my advice for someone who is starting to teach and train, really invest time into your people. And the return on that is absolutely huge. Thank you.